Greetings, Gamereactor Nation. Magnus here, coming to you from London, where we have attended a PlayStation Pro-themed event here today, held by Sony, where not only we were able to take a closer look at the actual hardware. A review is coming up as we speak, and unboxings and all manner of things PlayStation 4 Pro related, but we were also able to take a look at some of the games, and not only new games, which will have PlayStation Pro support when they launch, stuff like Watch Dogs 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone, but also games that will be given a new lease of life because they will have PlayStation Pro patches coming out to coincide with the launch of the platform later this month. One of these games, which I saw and played today, is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, a game which has been critically loved by almost everyone earlier this year when it came out. So we had a chance to sit down with the director of communications from the company, from Naughty Dog, Arnie Meyer, and there's an interview on Gamereactor right now. But what he essentially told us, and what I could completely agree with by actually playing it for something akin to 15 minutes, was that the game really does look crisper with its PlayStation 4 Pro patch, which is will be available, I think, something like launch date, maybe a bit later. They were pretty vague on that, but I think it's launch day. Now, the first thing is resolution, which is, of course, that it's been bumped from Full HD in the regular PlayStation 4 version to 1400p. Now, it's not 4K, and it's not a checkerboard 4K. This is something where they have settled on one resolution. So if you are not completely familiar with the checkerboard rendering system, is that it basically automatically upscales an 1800p image into something that looks 4K. Now, we did see how this checkerboard thing actually worked in a bunch of cases, but more on that in other videos. But what Naughty Dog settled on as sort of you could say that they're at the forefront of the technical part of the PlayStation family. They're sort of known for what they do technically with their games. But what they did, as I said, was that they decided on one resolution and kept it there. Now, the thing is that when you look at Uncharted 4, and I did as well, is that the game is of course gorgeous, but it's not 4K and it's not 60 FPS. So what have they actually done? Well, they've taken a look at every single part of the visual experience and done something quite different, because we've seen a bunch of studios just turn it up to 4K, as they have done, for example, with The Last of Us Remastered and The Elder Scrolls Online and games like that. And they have, instead of doing that, instead of just turning up the resolution, they have actually looked and picked apart everything in the visual experience, everything around you, foliage, lighting, water effects, all of that stuff has been tuned up slightly. This is a slightly different approach than what we've seen many other companies do, where they sort of, okay, now we can offer 60 FPS, something like Neo, or now we can offer 4K. This is an example of a game where you have increased the fidelity of every single visual detail, and it's something that really pops on the screen. So when we ran through the demo, and it's a demo of Chapter 11, I think, where you are approaching Madagascar with Nathan and Sam, a demo where you are searching through various small tropical islands in a boat. If you haven't played the game, no spoilers there. Everything just popped more, and it's difficult to actually explain why that is, except the fact that when, for example, if you're diving, you can see sort of the rays of light coming through the surface of the water down onto the ocean floor. If you look at the details on the beach, you can actually see the grain of sands sort of shift as the wind pops by, and how the wind actually catches the trees and the foliage. It's just, everything seems more crisper, everything seems a bit better defined somehow. Now, the game itself on the regular PlayStation 4 isn't exactly ugly. It's actually known as one of the prettiest games ever made, and I completely concede to that. But there's somehow a little extra layer of polish in the PlayStation 4 version, and I think that's pretty cool as an example of a different approach you can take to using the extra horsepower in the PlayStation 4 Pro to harness that power to give players a little different sort of visual approach, instead of just tuning up the resolution and then call it a day. Now, Naughty Dog says that they are constantly working on this. They've had a selection from the Naughty Dog team work on this for an extended period of time, and it seems like it's really paid off. For more on Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and the PlayStation 4 Pro, you're already in the right place, and that's Gamereactor. See you out there.